this video, we want to talk about the pursuit of social justice. Now, we've been learning about Solomon's exploration of people's pursuit of fulfillment. And when it comes to social justice, Solomon talks about this area of social justice and whether it's capable of producing fulfillment and happiness in my life. Many people in our day have become obsessed with what they believe to be injustice that is in the world, and they believe that if only it could be eliminated, we would be able to live a fulfilled and happy life. Even in the church, many have turned to social justice issues as the very core of their meaning and purpose. Solomon declares this to be meaningless. In this video, we'll examine what the Spirit of God is trying to teach us about this area through the inspired writings of Solomon in the book of Ecclesiastes. We'll start off in chapter 3, verses 16 to 17, where it says, "I saw something else under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. I thought in my heart, God will bring to judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time for every deed." Now, the first thing that we look at is what are the defining characteristics of someone who pursues social justice as a means to gain fulfillment and happiness in life. Solomon speaks about this in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 1 to 3. It says, "Again I looked and saw all the oppression that was taking place under the sun. I saw the tears of the oppressed, and they have no comforter. Power was on the side of their oppressors, and they have no comforter. And I declared that the dead who had already died are happier than the living who are still alive. But better than both is he who has not yet been, who has not seen the evil that is done under the sun." Now, what we're told here is that people often look for judgment and justice for the oppressed in situations where they have personally felt that oppression, and it is often a reaction to the experiences they've had that produces their action and desire for justice. Now, the result of this is that it is not easy to see the problem they want to fix clearly, in the way that God sees it. Such people tend to be obsessed in their cause and at times do more harm than good to both their cause and to the world and people around them. This is particularly true when people forget to seek God's wisdom for judgment and help in these matters. Now, the question then that we have to ask ourselves is, why is the pursuit of social justice never going to bring happiness or fulfillment? So Ecclesiastes 3, verses 16 to 17 says, "I saw something else under the sun. In the place of judgment, wickedness was there. In the place of justice, wickedness was there. I thought in my heart, God will bring to judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time for every deed." The first problem to having social justice bring fulfillment in our lives is that according to verse 16, every attempt that man makes to bring social justice is marred by the wickedness of the people that try to bring it in the first place. Almost every social justice movement has had this problem. It has helped the cause of those it seeks to help, but hurt other causes at the same time, and in some cases even brought hurt to their own causes. Only God is intelligent enough to really bring justice, and the truth is that most people would not accept His solution. Fulfillment and happiness will not come to our world or to our lives through fixing our social injustices because we are not moral or intelligent enough to agree to the only solutions that can work, the ones which God brings. The second problem, according to verse 17, is that it is impossible to fix social issues without God's direct intervention in a person's life. Seeking to accomplish anything without God's leading and help will lead to incredible amounts of time being wasted with little or no progress made on the issue. This will not lead us to feeling fulfilled or happy trying to do this kind of work. So, what kind of social justice will bring a measure of fulfillment and happiness to our lives? Well, according to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 17, God's social justice will bring fulfillment and happiness. Nobody else knows how to give us a world that will be happy and fulfilled, but we must ask for His understanding and wisdom if we're going to really be able to help the oppressed. We must be led by His Spirit in all we do to try and help. This is because there are some real problems with attaining social justice in this life. And these problems are, first of all, according to Ecclesiastes 3:16, the wickedness of those trying to effect justice, and how it always corrupts that justice and judgment. The solution providers are often the problem. Secondly, power has been given to those who would oppress, according to Ecclesiastes 4:1, because that's all of us. What is being said here is that the very people who say that they desire justice have given their God-given ability to obtain real social justice to a power, Satan, that oppresses the very one that we want to help. Mankind has listened to the lies of the devil and ignored God's way to live and to gain justice, and in so doing has invited social injustice in every form imaginable. The problem is not so much the injustice of the world around us as it is our unwillingness to submit to the correct authority in our life, God. This is what Solomon suggests that we should do at the end of his book in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Lastly, Ecclesiastes 5, verses 8 to 9, provides us with a final problem with solving social justice issues. It says there, if you see the poor oppressed in a district and justices and rights denied, do not be surprised at such things. For one official is eyed by a higher one, and over them both are others higher still. The increase from the land is taken by all, and the king himself profits from the fields. What this tells us is that everyone wants order and people enforcing that order, but very few understand the price that such order imposes. It is because we expect others to take care of us, and we expect more for our lives than we really need, that so many social problems exist. It is when greed and selfishness have been eliminated that we will see an end to social injustice. Until the time of God's kingdom and the coming of Jesus as King, social injustice will be a part of every nation. I hope you enjoyed this video on finding fulfillment in life. I hope you also learned that pursuing social justice as a means of gaining fulfillment in my life is meaningless. Thank you for watching this video.